Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Real Time, where we talk about the movies we like.
And the ones we don't.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Molly.
And we're here to talk about the latest in the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This is the third and final Guardians movie from writer-director James Gunn before he fully switches over to the DC side of things. And what a way to go out.
Definitely.
This was a wild, fun, heartfelt, very sad, and just overall a wonderful movie. So this movie, of course, stars Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, Bradley Cooper as Rocket Raccoon, Pom Klementieff as Mantis, Dave Bautista as Drax, Karen Gillan as Nebula, Vin Diesel as Groot, Zoe Saldana as Gamora, a different Gamora from the other two Guardians of the Galaxy movies, but if you've seen Infinity War and Endgame, you know what that's about.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, just spoiler alert, just getting that out of the way. Sean Gunn as Kraglin, Will Poulter as Adam Warlock, Chukwudi Iwuji as the High Evolutionary, the villain of the movie. Adam Warlock, I didn't mention this like a second ago when I was talking about it, was teased at the end of the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie, being created by Aisha of the Sovereign. She is back again as played by Elizabeth Debicki. And we get into Rocket's backstory, how he was experimented on by the High Evolutionary, and he has some animal friends that are really gonna make you sad if you love animals at all.
Yeah.
We have Lila, an otter played by Linda Cardellini, also known in this universe as Hawkeye's wife.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Asim Chaudhry plays Teefs. He is a walrus. And Michaela Hoover plays Floor. She is not a floor.
She's a floor.
She's a rabbit who looks like Bunnicula, and she named herself Floor because she was lying on the floor. Sylvester Stallone reprises his role from the second movie as Stakar, one of the original Guardians of the Galaxy. Miley Cyrus didn't come back to play Mainframe, which doesn't really make or break the movie. She had one line in the last movie. She was replaced by Tara Strong, which, when I heard that Miley Cyrus wasn't going to be in this one, I just thought to myself, they're probably going to replace her with Tara Strong or something. And they did.
My thought was Miley Cyrus was in a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, because I did not know that. Sorry.
Yeah. And a couple of James Gunn's usual cast comes back in this movie, such as like we said before, his brother Sean Gunn, as well as his wife Jennifer Holland. She played a administrator in this place that they had to break into, which on Twitter, which really should tell you something, because that pretty much means it doesn't matter. A lot of people have been really annoyed at James Gunn for having his wife in this movie, which he does this a lot with like his his friends and stuff. They appear in all of his movies, which if you're only getting mad about it now, I mean, just chill.
If I was a director, I'd put my friends in the movie.
And anyways, he's not even nearly the only person who does this. Okay, Adam Sandler, Martin Scorsese. Rob Zombie has his wife in all of his movies too, and no one gives him crap for that.
Yeah, I'd put my friends in my movie if I was a director too. I wouldn't give a crap.
Nathan Fillion appears in this movie too. He appeared in the first Guardians of the Galaxy. He shot scenes for the second one, but they ended up getting deleted. And he appeared in the Suicide Squad and other movies that James Gunn has made. Yeah, so there's that. Now, this movie is about the Guardians trying to save Rocket's life. Okay, their base on Nowhere was attacked by Adam Warlock because he was sent by the High Evolutionary to go get Rocket. And some Rocket ended up needing medical attention, but because of that, there was a kill switch that got turned on in his body that would kill him unless they found a way to turn that off. Mm-hmm. So this is the whole thing. They have to go save their friend. Rocket. And it was really it was low stakes in that they had to do that, and they had to stop the high evolutionary from creating more life elsewhere, because when he's bored he just destroys everything. Mm-hmm. That's what he does. Now, I'm not too clear on the high evolutionary in the comics, so I'm not sure how accurate this is, but it seemed menacing enough for the movie.
Yeah, I think so.
The high evolutionary was a really really despicable individual, and I'm glad he got what was coming to him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When Rocket was when he was a little baby, the high evolutionary killed his friends, which
spoiler.
Yeah, I said spoiler. So if you're this far, whatever. So that made Rocket go crazy and rip his face off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which we see at the end of the movie, and it looks absolutely grotesque.
Yeah, pretty gross.
Before the movie came out, James Gunn said that this movie broke the record for most prosthetic makeup appliances in a movie, which the last one was 2000's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. If that gives you any indication on how long that's been. Mm-hmm. We did a video on it this past Christmas, and we felt really old when we realized that this movie is over 20 years old.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can definitely tell, because there is a lot of just really neat makeup effects in this movie, and they all look really cool.
Oh yeah, they really do.
From all of the different animal human hybrids that the High Evolutionary made on his BoJack Horseman planet, to all of the aliens that we see in the movie that aren't created with CG, which some of these are going to be. That's just how it is. Some things you just can't make with prosthetics. So I'm fine with that, as long as it looks cool and doesn't look like complete crap. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, yeah, that's kind of redundant to say one and the other, but whatever.
Yeah. Oh well.
So, besides what we've already said, what did you think of this movie?
I really liked it. I don't know if I like it as much as the second one. I think the second Guardians of the Galaxy is my favorite still. However, I really did enjoy this movie. It was fun to watch. I always really like Guardians of the Galaxy movies. They've always been really fun to watch. Well, I guess this one wasn't really fun to watch, as I did cry.
Yeah, it
was pretty hard to get through.
It's not fun in the same way that the other two were, but it does have some incredibly fun moments.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's just, it took a darker turn than the other two. Really emotional, very, there are some very hard moments, yeah.
Yeah, if you consider yourself an animal lover at all, this will not be the easiest summer blockbuster to get through this year. Like, obviously, within those parameters, there's much worse things out there. Mm-hmm. But I don't see someone going out of their way to watch something like Faces of Death or Cannibal Holocaust, so you're good. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I agree. This was a really, really emotional movie. Very, very exciting and very good overall.
Yeah.
The second Guardians is still my favorite of the trilogy. And even if we're going to include the Christmas special that released this past year.
Yeah.
Yeah, still Guardians Volume 2.
Yep. Me too.
How would you rank the three movies?
It's hard. I don't really know. Besides 2 being my favorite, I'm not really for sure how to place the other 2. I think it's still too soon after watching the third. It's going to have to take a while before I can really pinpoint. I need to rewatch the first one again.
Yeah. Like, I rewatched it relatively recently in the past couple months. But I really have a hard time choosing between 1 and 3 because they're both really good. Mm-hmm. And they both hit that emotional beat.
Yeah.
in you that just it makes you realize why Marvel held on to James Gunn for so long before. Well, this movie was supposed to come out a couple years back, but James Gunn was fired by Marvel because some alt-right troll dug up some really bad tweets that he made when he was younger, like over a decade ago in the 2000s. You know, some of these tweets were pretty bad, honestly. Like the worst one was when he blamed Mexicans for his enchilada burning his tongue. That was the least bad one.
It just sounds kind of stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, and he made a lot of like pedophilia jokes and stuff like that. It's like, okay, which that really doesn't have any bearing on the on his ability to make movies. Like, yeah, they're bad jokes, but they're just jokes. Really, like, there's really nothing worth getting too much in a tizzy over all these. Like, yeah, they're very bad taste, but he's not going out there and raping babies left and right like he's Ian Watkins or something, you know. So I don't see any harm in these tweets that he made. And obviously, he got rehired back by Marvel to do both the Christmas special and Guardians Volume 3 to close out the trilogy, which I'm pretty sure they were going to plan on doing that anyways. That plus the fact that they really couldn't find anyone to take this movie on. Like, they asked Taika Waititi, Adam McKay, among others. No one wanted to do it.
Why not?
Well, Taika Waititi didn't want to do it because he didn't feel like this was his movie, you know?
Yeah, I can see that.
Which, I'm kind of glad Waititi didn't do it, because as much as I like the 2 Thor movies he did, I just don't feel like he would have had the same heart as Gunn.
It's hard to match up to something that's not yours. It's hard to reciprocate those passions and feelings. So.
Now, granted, in Thor: Love and Thunder, he handled the Guardians well for the brief scenes they were in, but he did fine with them. I have no complaints about how he did use them in his movie. And Adam McKay, he wrote the first Ant-Man movie. I mean, maybe, but still, I am much happier with James Gunn coming back and doing finishing off this trilogy in such an amazing way.
Yeah.
Now, James Gunn is probably one of my favorite directors in the MCU for their MCU products. Now, probably my favorite director overall that has worked in the MCU is definitely Sam Raimi. But if I'm going to sit down and watch a Sam Raimi movie, I'm probably not going to choose Doctor Strange 2, even though it was a fun time. I'm definitely going to choose one of his Spider-Man movies or Evil Dead, or something like The Gift, or Drag Me to Hell. Got a lot of good choices there. But yeah, within the MCU, definitely James Gunn, if not the Russo brothers, because all 3 of these guys have made a lot of great stuff within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I would love to see James Gunn do more. I really would, but he's off at Warner Brothers running DC, you know, their movies and stuff, so I'm also really excited to see what he does there. He's done, like I've said before, he's done the Suicide Squad. He created the show Peacemaker. He's writing a whole bunch of stuff, and he's directing the next Superman movie.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to what he does there. It's going to be awesome. If the Suicide Squad is any indication of Gunn's, well, that and the Guardians of the Galaxy movies are any indication of his ability to take characters that really nobody knows about and making everyone love them. Because you didn't know who the Guardians were before the movies, did you?
Nope.
Me
I don't
neither.
read comics.
And I'm a massive nerd, okay? And I didn't know who these people were. And same thing with some of these characters in his Suicide Squad movie, like Javelin, or Ratcatcher 2, or Bloodsport, or Peacemaker. I didn't know who any of these people were, and Gunn made us absolutely fall in love with them. Like, yeah, you know who some of these people are, like King Shark or Polka Dot Man or TDK, and yeah, you know who they are, but like the amount of heart that Gunn injects into every single one of these guys, I love him. I love him so much. And I'm glad Disney hired him back to finish his trilogy because no one else could have done it like him.
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't be the same.
No.
So do you have a favorite part of the movie?
Oh, so many to choose from. I like the I like that scene when the guards are fighting in the hallway to get to the High Evolutionary.
Yeah.
That was really fun. I also liked it when Rocket, when they were saving all the kids from the High Evolutionary's prison on the ship that was exploding. He goes into where he was kept before, and he sees all these animals, and he opens a cage with a whole bunch of baby raccoons, and he finds out that, oh yeah, I am a raccoon.
Yeah, it says like the
all the
Latin name
and then common name raccoon.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, I am that. And we see him take all the baby raccoons. They crawl all over him like he's their mom or something.
Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite parts too. I also like seeing his friends whenever he was a little kid getting, experimented on. I really like that part until, it ended. But I also really like the part where they land on the planet with the animal human creatures.
Where they got to break into.
Yeah, that was really cool. It was fun. It's a good movie. One
thing for this movie that I can definitely say isn't as good as the last two was the soundtrack. Like, yeah, this was a perfectly fine soundtrack.
Yeah.
And I like listening to it. I also really like the inclusion of Florence and the Machine at the end. And in one of the post-credits scene, we got Come and Get Your Love right from the first Guardians movie.
Yeah.
So that was a nice bookend. But on the whole, the soundtrack isn't quite as good as the last two.
I like that they included Alice Cooper, but I do agree that the songs just, I don't know. They don't feel like...
They don't feel as memorable.
I guess so. I guess that's a good thing to say, yeah.
Like...
Good way to put it.
Like, they're good songs, don't get me wrong. I'm the guy who owns 2 different physical copies of the soundtrack for the second Guardians movie. I have it on CD and vinyl. I have the first one also on CD, but I don't have that one on vinyl yet. Yet. I'm gonna get it eventually.
Yeah.
So, maybe I'm a little biased. But...
Maybe.
Yeah, to me, the second one has one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard in any movie.
Yeah.
Definitely out of the MCU. The only real competition it has is the first Guardians and Black Panther. So, great soundtrack from the second one. Third one, good, just not on the same level, in my opinion. Maybe you feel differently, anyone who's out there listening to this.
Yeah.
Alright, who was your favorite character in this one?
That's really hard to say because they're the Guardians of the Galaxy and I like them all.
How about overall then, out of all 3 movies and whatever else other appearances they've had?
Well, that's hard, but it's probably between Drax and Rocket, maybe even Groot, because I loved him as Baby Groot in the second movie. It might be Drax, honestly, because he makes me laugh the most.
I like how in this movie he went back to a bit more of his characterization in the first movie, where he's funny, but he's still competent. He still knows what he's doing. He's not just a big joke, which I do. He is a big joke in the second one, but it's at least a funny big joke.
Yeah.
He's there primarily for comedic purposes, but he's still funny. But I like that he has a lot more to do in this one. Like, for instance, with the kids, he's able to actually speak their language and connect to them.
Yeah, that part cracks me up. He doesn't tell anyone he knows their language. Nebula's like, oh man, I can't. Or Nebula and Mantis have no idea what they're saying.
Like, how come you didn't say you knew their language? You didn't ask.
Yeah.
I mean, fair. And, he's able to connect with them on a level because he used to be a dad.
Yeah.
He used to be. Ronan murdered his wife and daughter.
Yeah.
And
was it daughters?
Just
or just the one?
Just the one daughter, actually.
Remember. Yeah.
But yeah, I like how he was given more to do, and he had a much bigger purpose in this one.
Yeah.
For me, for the whole, Guardian side of things, I think either either Rocket or Nebula. You could tell I really love Nebula, given that I named one of our cats that.
Yeah, despite my
Reservations.
yeah.
Okay.
I am a full believer that pet names should be human names.
I don't.
Because they're part of the family and they should have a regular name.
So.
But
you know what your cousin Kane names his cats, right?
Yeah, but this is my belief, Tyler.
Okay. Okay. Anyways, I really like both of their backgrounds as being,
It's raining.
Being experimented on from a young age, and how they deal with all of that. It's really interesting, and it's no surprise because most of my favorite characters from the MCU are from the Guardians side of things.
Yeah.
You know, Rocket, Nebula, Star-Lord, Yondu. I just love them all because, again, I'm gonna suck off Gunn for a little bit longer. He has such a wonderful way of writing these characters that I love it. I love his I loved his importance to the MCU, and I'm sad to see him go, but I can't wait to see what he does next.
Yeah.
So, like we said, he's doing the next Superman movie, which unfortunately will not have Henry Cavill in it. I really hate that. I really do, but like I said before, I'm willing to trust in Gunn and see what he does. I'm sure he's going to do a good job. So I think that's all we have to say about this.
I think so. Pretty good movie. Pretty good watch.
One of these days we'll do the first one and wrap up this trilogy. And maybe by then we'll have a definitive answer on our rankings for these. But until then, we'll see you next time.
See you next time.